Now, it's been a chaotic few days for the global economy and for the markets. US President Donald Trump started a trade war over a week ago, escalated with China, called off the rest, and with markets around the world getting closer to where they started off before all the drama, many are wondering what happened. Lars Holter is with Deutsche Welle and he joins me from Berlin. Lars, what's the word in Europe?
Thanks for having me. Well, I've heard many words depicting Donald Trump, his chaotic trade announcements, the market's behavior. Many of these words I don't think we can mention on TV, but let me tell you that Europe, much like the rest of the world, has gone through some hectic days with huge market swings, with the EU Global Trade Commission holding an emergency meeting to figure out how to counter Trump's actions before it all, of course, got called off. Now, while there's a bit more calm in the market, analysts said no matter that tariffs have now been pushed off, the damage is already done. Let me quote Mohamed El-Arian of Allianz, the German financial and insurance giant. He says markets need Trump to also cancel the 10% in base tariffs that he has left his trading partners with. As for George Savarelos of Deutsche Bank in Frankfurt, he says Trump has shown the world that he moves fast and in totally unpredictable ways. Not a stretch here. After all, Trump was contradicting himself all the time last week. And he says that can only lead to one thing now. Everyone will make the strategic decision to become less dependent on business with the United States, just to be a bit more protected from such irrational moves in future.
And looking ahead at the next 90 days, Lars, what are analysts expecting?
They're not very optimistic in terms of going back to business as usual. As a matter of fact, Mr. El-Arian here from Allianz says that the 90 days push-off will obviously give companies some breathing room. They don't have to rush to save costs and possibly even cut jobs, but that they're caught in limbo. Companies need a long-term strategy in terms of manufacturing, but also what markets to deliver to or what suppliers in which countries to source from. Much of what companies, not only in Germany and the EU, but elsewhere too, much of what they have built up over decades has been shaken to its core. And while nobody knows whether or not tariffs are coming back, what business sectors will be protected or which sectors might be punished especially hard, many can't plan their business going forward. To just take this weekend's back and forth over tech tariffs too, with the US canceling tariffs on cell phones and chips from China, and then on Sunday announcing that they're likely coming back in a month or two. In the end, that's what I heard from many analysts here, this is expected to weigh heavy on the entire European economy. It slows things down and it will end up costing us in terms of GDP growth.
And finally, Lars, what's the long-term outlook? What do you expect to see as the outcome of all this trade trouble?
Well, from what I'm hearing, there's two scenarios. One is the optimistic scenario where the US will actually make some trade deals pretty much at the levels seen before this whole circus blew up. It's not an unrealistic scenario because we do know that Donald Trump is more than anything a showman. He would likely be more than happy to present any deal, even if it's just a rewrite of an old deal. And he would present it as a win, and that's it for him. Trade would then go on likely as before. The other scenario is that Trump will further escalate not only the trade war with China, but that he also can't reach a deal with others, including the EU. And then we're going to see the same tariffs go into effect in 3 months. And that's why some analysts are warning people not to necessarily see last week's lows as the bottom for markets. Markets will be volatile. The whole situation right now is pretty much up in the air. That's pretty much the only thing people really agree on.
All right, Lars, thank you. Lars Holter reporting there from Berlin.